Have you ever been stuck in one of those endless text chains? The one where you just think, this could have been a 2-minute phone call? Yeah, you're not alone. We are communicating more than we ever have before, but in this constant flood of DMs and emails, have we actually lost a really fundamental skill? Today, we're going to talk about why the phone call isn't some dusty old relic, but actually a powerful tool we've all just kind of forgotten how to use.
This quote, it really gets you thinking, doesn't it? We've streamlined our lives for maximum convenience, but what do we trade away in the process? This isn't about getting nostalgic for the good old days. It's about a very real shift in how we connect with each other. And believe me, it's having a bigger impact than you might realize, especially in the workplace.
So, how did we even get here? How did the dial tone get totally overshadowed by the click-clack of a keyboard? It didn't happen overnight. It was this slow, subtle shift that most of us barely even noticed. But wow, the effects are huge. Let's dig in.
Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got a scene that a lot of us probably remember. The phone call was an event, right? It was a core part of how you socialized. And now, on the right, well, that's the reality for so many people. We have entire generations who learn to type before they learn to talk on the phone. The call itself has become this optional thing, something you have to schedule, or maybe even something you dread.
This brings us to a really fascinating idea called muted fluency. And no, it's not about being shy. It's that little jolt of anxiety you feel when your phone rings unexpectedly. It's this learned discomfort with live, unedited, real-time conversation. You see, our technology didn't get rid of our voice, it just built this whole world around it so we don't have to use it as much. And because of that, our conversational muscles, they've gotten a little weak.
Right about now, you might be thinking, so what? Texting is just more efficient. But is it? Really? Let's take a look at how dodging a simple phone call can actually unleash this cascade of problems and hidden costs. Turns out, the price of all this silence is way higher than you'd think.
Okay, here it is. This is the core of the problem. When we rely only on text, we lose all the nuance, the tone, the clarity that you get from a human voice. Sarcasm gets mistaken for being serious. A simple question gets completely lost in translation. All of this creates friction, and it kicks off a chain reaction that wastes the one thing we can't get more of, our time.
And it always starts so small, doesn't it? Just one simple question. But without the context you get from hearing someone's voice, it just explodes into this back and forth volley of messages, each one trying to clarify the one that came before it. All of a sudden, what was a simple question has turned into a full-blown digital investigation.
And then come the follow-ups. Wait, what did you mean by that? Can you explain this part again? Every single message is another ping, another interruption, another crack in your focus. That easy little task you started on? Yeah, it's now ballooned into a massive distraction for your whole day.
And here's the final result, the real kicker. A conversation that could have been wrapped up in a 5-minute phone call gets replaced by a 30-minute text exchange that's spread out over hours. It is a slow, painful burn of inefficiency, and it's killing our productivity one little message at a time.
Let's be really clear here. This constant back and forth isn't just annoying, it is expensive. A misunderstood instruction can easily lead to a costly mistake. A delayed decision could mean a huge missed opportunity. Every single moment that we waste trying to clarify something ambiguous is a moment we're not spending on actual productive work. In business, ambiguity isn't just a communication problem, it's a bottom-line financial problem.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem, but here's the good news. The solution is literally right in front of us. It's all about changing how we think about our own voice, not as some old-fashioned thing, but as a powerful, high-performance tool that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. This slide is so important because it gets at the irreplaceables, the things that text and email just can't do. Your voice carries your intent, your confidence, your credibility in a way that no emoji ever will. You just can't automate building real relationships, and you definitely can't build trust at scale without the sound of a human voice. These are the human things, and they are absolutely essential for success. So here's the real takeaway. When you use it the right way, your voice is an incredible efficiency tool. Think about a really complex project, lots of people involved. One 10-minute conference call can get more done than 100 emails. It just cuts through all the noise, gets everybody aligned, and gets rid of all that friction that slows things down. It's about working smarter, not just harder. Okay, so are you feeling a little rusty, a little out of practice? That's completely understandable. The great news is that these are skills, and like any skill, they can be relearned. So let's dive into some super practical, actionable steps you can start using today to improve your phone game and get that vocal confidence back. You know, the foundations of a great call are way simpler than you'd think. First, please get a decent headset. Speakerphone might feel convenient, but it makes you sound distant and way less in control. Second, smile before you start talking. It sounds silly, I know, but it instantly makes your tone warmer. And third, just take a second to breathe from your diaphragm. A nice steady breath gives you a nice steady, confident voice. All right, here's a pro tip that's going to feel a little weird at first, but trust me, it works like magic. It's called the pencil trick, and it is a favorite of voice coaches for a very good reason. You just gently hold a pencil between your teeth, say a few sentences, then take it out and say them again. I promise the difference will blow you away. So why on earth does this work? Well, it's basically like a mini workout for your mouth. The pencil forces you to over-exaggerate how you form your words, which makes your speech way clearer and crisper when you take it out. Seriously, give it a shot before your next big call. You'll be amazed. Okay, we've covered the fundamentals. So now let's level up and get into some more advanced techniques. We're going to focus on two really crucial moments in any call: how to deal with a tense situation and how to end every call on a strong, purposeful note. When a conversation starts to get heated, what's our natural instinct? It's to match the other person's energy, right? Well, that is a recipe for disaster. Instead, try doing the exact opposite. As their volume goes up, you bring yours down. As they start talking faster, you slow your pace down. And a well-timed, strategic pause, incredibly powerful. You're not just calming them down, you're actually taking control of the entire conversation. Calm is leverage. I love this. It's such a powerful mantra to remember in those really high-stakes moments. Think about a tense negotiation. Who has the power? It's the person who stays calm. Your composure is what gives you control and lets you steer the conversation back to a place where you can actually get something done. We have all been on those calls, the ones that just kind of fizzle out. There's no real ending. A fantastic conversation can be totally wasted if it doesn't end with a clear sense of purpose. That's why the best, most effective calls don't just end, they close. Let's look at how to do that. A strong close really only has three key ingredients. It's simple. First, a quick summary of what was decided. This makes sure everyone is on the same page. Second, clear assignments for the next steps. Who owns what? And third, a specific timeline. When is this stuff going to get done? This little framework gets rid of all that ambiguity that can sink even the most productive calls. So what's the bottom line here? Look, text and email are valuable. They're great tools, but they are supplements. They are not replacements. The human voice is the foundation, the original high bandwidth connection we have, and it's about time we started using it to its full potential again. The art of the phone call isn't dead at all. It's just been muted for a little while. So the next time you find yourself typing out a long, complicated message, just stop for a second and ask yourself, could this just be a call? The answer might save you a whole lot of time and a whole lot of trouble. What are you waiting for? Ring, ring.